You about why you might be triggered, even when you feel like you've really worked on yourself and made peace with your past. So first of all, let me explain one thing. Triggers are nothing more than symptoms. It's those feelings that you have in your body in response to an interaction with someone or something. And everybody gets triggered at some point or another. It's just normal. So the interesting fact is that triggers are just wounds that still need to be addressed. Or maybe they're fragments of what just hasn't been fully cleaned up yet. So let me give you an analogy. When I'm working with somebody and we're cleaning up things in the past, it's almost like when you have this big picture window that is shattered and you got to pick up the glass. You go pick up all the pieces. You probably start with those bigger pieces and then you continuously pick up till it looks like the mess is cleaned up, right? But sometimes there's little fragments that are left that you just don't quite see. And sometimes it's these fragments that will show up as triggers in the future. So let me give you a story here. So I had a client come to me recently that was really disheartened. And she was triggered. She said, this shouldn't be happening. I've been working on myself for a while. And she had been in this work situation and she was triggered by a coworker's phone call. And when we started working on it, it was the tone of voice, it was the words, it was that aggressive and bullied type behavior that she was picking up on. And then her body reacted, because the mind and the body are one, right? Her body reacted and she started shaking and she could feel her heart racing. And she wanted to know why am I responding this way? But her brain was working exactly like it should have, because the brain's job is to keep you safe. And that's exactly what it was doing. It was giving her a warning sign, and you can insert those air horns right now. You can hear them. Those air horns blasting was her subconscious warning sign. So my question to her was, what did that tone, what did those words, that aggression remind her of? And she said, it reminds me of my mom. So my perspective is this. This is life. Life happens every day, all day long, without your permission. And you're going to find yourself triggered. There's still fragments of your past floating around inside of you that haven't been cleaned up yet. And that's okay. That's just the way it goes. But here's the important thing. And this is the one thing that I want you to take away from all this. Her ability to regain composure was minimal. That is proof of her healing. She was able to bounce back and not let it ruin her day. And that is a sign of great healing and very good self-awareness. But another thought then popped into her mind as we were working on this. She was supposed to hear from that coworker again the next day. So we worked together on what scenario and what that scenario might look like the anticipation of just that interaction again. And have you ever been in a situation where you're going to have to interact with somebody, and just thinking about it, you can feel that change in your body, you can feel your heart start to race, and then those scenarios start floating through your head of what might be said or what that look on the face is going to be like, and that confrontation, right? We've all been there. So what we did is we kind of walked through what that confrontation or what that situation might look like. I had her imagine the extension number on the caller ID, knowing it was her coworker. Then picking that up and hearing her voice, hearing the words and listening to the tone. And I had her play out all the worst case scenarios, and we diffused them. Enough that when she thought about it, her body wasn't reacting anymore. So by the end, we all were laughing, and it became kind of funny. And many times situations like this feel overwhelming because you're caught up in the emotions and where you feel that in your body. And you are going to feel that in your body somewhere. That's how you know that you have a problem, is because it shows up in those feelings in your body. And just know this, just know that's okay. You just have to know what to do with all of that. And many times people don't. So if you struggle with emotional triggers, you're not alone. You're human. It's part of being a human being and having a human experience every day. You're not a robot, right? And it does not matter how you get triggered. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. The secret is knowing why you're getting triggered and knowing how to bounce back quickly. But the thing is, if you continue to ignore your triggers, pretend they don't exist, and just ruminate in those feelings, they're going to fester and they're going to grow, and you're going to have bigger problems down the road. And how that shows up is in anger, being argumentative, aggressive, feeling out of control. That's just a few of the ways that could show up. Because you know what? Nothing ever goes away. It gets stored in your body somewhere. And you have to address all of those strong feelings in order to be able to heal. You got to feel it to deal with it, to heal it. So just take this away as a final thought. Your triggers are nothing more than messengers. They're telling you that there's still some places inside of you that need to heal. And if you don't address them, they're going to fester under the surface. And you're going to find yourself triggered more often in the future, and maybe even in a bigger way. Because these situations will start adding up, layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. And your subconscious has all of them stored away. So that when you see that tone, when you hear that tone, when you see maybe that look on their face, it's going to bring up memories, probably subconsciously, of where that was unsafe for you in the past. And if you don't know how to deal with that, and you don't know how to self-soothe and talk yourself down, it's going to become bigger and bigger in the future. So if you would like a tap along that corresponds with this video, I'm going to add the link to that description in the comment area below so that you can go and find that video and tap along to that. And it is tapping on your triggers. All right. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for being with me today. And I will see you back in the next video very soon. Bye.